Just started grabbing, the kids are still asleep, and I just started grabbing them and running them out to the car without even getting shoes, clothes, or anything like that. They still had all their pajamas on, and it's just like a panic to get out of here.
Well, NewsNation, among the first national cable networks on the ground in Indiana where catastrophic flooding has upended life for so many who live just outside Indianapolis. A state of emergency remains in effect as the state deals with a 1 in 1,000 year flood event. Water levels overtaking entire neighborhoods, cutting power to hundreds of thousands of homes and triggering mass evacuations. And with the potential for more rain this weekend, there are concerns about the rivers rising even more. NewsNation's Bennett Haverly joins us live from Anderson, Indiana. And Bennett, this truly is a historic event.
Yes, it is, Kelly. There are a number of people here in Anderson who have been displaced from their homes. There were a number of water rescues overnight. This is what's left over from the rain that has since subsided, although there is more forecast on the way. The White River has left its banks. This is a main east-west thoroughfare through Anderson into downtown Anderson, a town of about 50,000 people, about 30 miles northeast of Indianapolis. And the White River has just taken over this road. And the water actually continues to creep up. The White River was at its historic level this morning at about 24 feet. It has since gone down since its peak this morning, but this is what's left over. The aftermath, the flooding continues. I've actually was standing about 10 to 15 yards down there about 3 hours ago when I was doing these same similar hits. We've since moved back because the water continues to move forward. Earlier today, we were at a shopping plaza that was completely devastated by the White River, which has swelled beyond its banks. There was a water rescue there that we noticed. Emergency officials were able to get someone out. We also noticed employees of that shopping plaza had come by to check on some of the devastation and damage to their stores. They were concerned not only about themselves, about their neighbors, their well-being, and how this town is going to recover.
I'm just so sad. What are they going to do? You know what I mean? Like, there's a house underwater over here. A couple of them, actually. You know? It's some of the saddest stuff I've ever seen. I hope our community really rallies. We really need it right now. Like I said, I've never seen anything like this, ever. And yeah, scary. Scary that this could even happen that quick.
And that was the same or similar refrain that we've heard over and over again from neighbors here who said they've never experienced anything like this. I talked to a gentleman who used to work for the city's EMA department. He said he's going around actually comparing photos to the 1913 flood, which was the previous record at 23 feet for the White River. We eclipsed that this morning, well over 24 feet. He was going around actually comparing and contrasting which homes were underwater back then. And he said he had seen things today that are not in the record books. So obviously there's concern. There's a sense of community with people wrapping themselves around each other, looking to help out. A number of streets are still blocked off. There is that concern as well about additional rain. Kelly?
Right. And what are the major concerns, Bennett, with more rain in the forecast now?
Well, it's not only just flooding, but it's concern about what this amount of water does to aging infrastructure. What does it do to the roads? If more areas flood, the levee that's in town, will it hold? Concerned about people not heeding the advice of law enforcement and driving around barriers, driving into floodwaters. That's obviously a concern. Those are the things that we keep hearing over and over again. So for the most part, people seem to be heeding advice, just sort of taking in or observing things. We haven't heard many emergency sirens as what we heard much earlier this morning.
All right, Bennett Haverly. Bennett, thank you.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.